When it comes to self-help, it's easy to get caught up in a cycle of books, seminars, podcasts, and videos that you constantly consume every day to make your life better. You constantly consume because you believe that your life should be a certain way that you're not living, so you seek out for help in hopes that you would address the issues that you're having in your life. This sometimes creates a sort of emptiness, an overwhelming feeling of constantly looking out for help, which in turn can create an addiction when it comes to self-help. Seeking help is more of a symptom than a solution. The feeling of feeling behind and taking the initiative to change, to improve your current state, can become very overwhelming, especially when you're not seeing any progress in your life, but you're consuming every book that you can ever find. You're watching every video from every YouTuber that you know that talks about self-help and how to improve your life in every other possible way. I have read more than 100 self-help books in hope that these books would help me. I have read countless books that I could recommend to you, like Atomic Habits, books I could recommend to you, like Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. So many books that I have read in the self-help environment, hoping that something will change in my life. The question is, did anything ever change in my life? You would think after reading 100 books in self-help, I would be financially free, my health should be top tier, I should be a guru in this world. But I can come to you right now and I say to you that is even not close to the truth. I still financially struggle. My health is not always perfect as I struggle from IBS. I am not the best of situations or the best of things in my life. I still struggle in so many aspects of my life that I'm still trying to figure out. It could be the same as you who is watching this video. You could be having the same feeling. You could be wondering why every video you've consumed, every book you've consumed, everything that you've tried to help yourself with, why is it nothing is changing in your life? This is where this video is going to help you. Studies have shown that people who consume a lot of self-help books have high levels of cortisol and are more likely to have depressive symptoms compared to people who read less. This is because most self-help content that we consume online, from the likes of The Lizard Wiz, Tam, Hamza, Ali Abdallah, Matt DeVale, Better Ideas, Andrew Tate, Clark Geigler, Elizabeth Phillips, all amazing content creators, and their content is very similar in the way they sell the content in one size fits all. If we look at it from a deep level, we don't even know where most of these creators came from. We don't even know where their background is from. We don't even know what their environment is, because the background determines the kind of advice that they give us. The source of this advice or the environment in which they're giving this advice is blank. Looking young and innocent is not the same as growing up and hitting puberty, adolescence, or glowing up. Most of the self-help gurus or most of the self-help creators usually show you a picture of when they were younger and finding themselves in comparison to a picture of when they are fully grown adults. They sell these pictures to you to make you believe that this is what you'd have to do to glow up like how they are now glowing up in their adulthood. They show you a picture of when they were 16, 15 in comparison to a picture when they're 25. And as human beings, we naturally gravitate to that in hopes that one day we'll look like the 25-year-old person. But in actual sense, a picture of you when you were 15 or 16 is not the same as a picture of you when you were 28 years old. So the comparison is very different. They sell to you that at the age of 15 years old, they started working on themselves. They read certain books. They did certain routines for them to look the way they look. They neglect the aspect of puberty, glowing up, and body changes that can help you look better and be transformative. They tend to sell to you this kind of miracle, a miracle that will transform you. They tell you, I read this book. This is a book that transformed me. I listened to this podcast. This is a podcast that transformed me. They neglect the fact that it is a process. It is a change. It is that time in your life where you gradually do certain things in your life to improve yourself. A book itself cannot transform you to become that better person. It cannot transform you to be that miracle big person. It's a series of things that you do, environments, parents, or where you've been brought up that enables you to become that kind of person. The creators that I believe should be the ones that should be looked at are the ones that you've actually known that have come from nothing. They have a journey on YouTube. They've come from step after step. They take you through things one after the other and show you the whole transformation. So we get into a tendency of consuming their content, looking at them as gods, looking at them as these most powerful people that would take us to a different level, a miracle that we also want to get in touch with. Because if you think about it, the idea of waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, drinking a smoothie, going to the gym, seem like a good self-improvement tip. But if you look at these ideas, they don't fit all. For example, some people are night owls and they function better in the night. Some people are morning people. But according to the self-help world, the self-help improvement environment, anyone that is a night owl is looked at by the society as being a lazy person, unproductive person, and someone who procrastinates. Just because someone wakes up at 10, they assume that that person cannot be successful in life, which creates this spiral of those particular people buying books on how to wake up early in the morning, books of how not to be lazy, books on low productivity, rather than encouraging these type of people to kind of look at their cycle in life, to kind of try as much as they can to maximize when they are more energetic, when they are more awake, to gain the success that they want to gain. No, they sell to them books, they sell to them smoothie, they sell to them shakes, they sell to them pills, they sell to them supplements, anything that will make you wake up very early in the morning, because we all know that every single person that is successful wakes up at 6 o'clock in the morning, wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning, meditates in the morning. That is the way in which success can be obtained. But the one thing that we tend to forget is this traditional aspect of a therapist. So this brings me to the world of therapists and content creator gurus on self-improvement. When it comes to therapists, they tailor solutions to your own problem. You sit down and they tailor that to you as an individual. They are qualified and have got experience and years of talking to various people and finding solutions that will actually help you. On the other side, when someone writes a self-help book, their goal is to sell to as many people as they can. Being a New York best time seller is one of the goals that every publisher would love to have, which can make self-improvement content oversimplified and sweetened with a false sense of hope and meaningless pats on the back. When reading any self-help book or listening to a self-help video, which have a tendency of giving you a false sense of happiness, and your serotonin levels rise and give you this sense of positivity, which can turn out to be toxic positivity, because the moment you stop reading that book, that is when that feeling that you felt, that serotonin levels go down, because it was only a feel-good moment to give you a rush within your body to make you feel like you can actually change, and this book would be the one that would change you. So ask yourself a question: despite the size of the self-help industry, why does the world still feel like a miserable place? Why do people still feel miserable? The reality is, this is just another industry that profits from consumerism. When you're unhappy, you are loose with your wallet. You are vulnerable to buy anything and everything in books, pills, seminars, podcasts that give you a quick fix to the issue and the problem that you're having at hand. Let me put this into context. Who in their right mind would think that drinking lots of cups of green tea would eventually detox your body and make it cleaner? I can tell you that was me. That was a hope. That was the idea that I had in my mind. That was until my body became resistant to green tea. That taking green tea now hurts my tummy, hurts my body, and I'm in pain every single time I drink green tea. It awakens my IBS. My IBS flares up when I drink green tea. This green tea that is sold in different forms of matcha and in all shapes and forms as a good thing that is meant to help you, that is meant to detox you, that is meant to make you better, cleaner, and maybe greener, has become something that my body resists because of my IBS levels. This is because I consumed content that told me that green tea is something that I should be consuming on a daily basis. There is no doubt that there are honest people that truly do help people and bring that positivity into people's lives. That change, that feeling, because at the end of the day, it starts and it ends with you and nobody else. There is a great comedian called George Carlin. He puts it in the most beautiful way. He says, if you are looking for self-help, why would you read a book written by somebody else? That's not self-help, that's help. There is no such as self-help. If you did it yourself, you didn't need help. Try to pay attention to the language that you have agreed on. I'm not against the industry of self-help because I am part of this industry. I believe there is so much knowledge that you can get from very many videos that you watch or listen to. But you have to pay attention to actionable advice. Looking at advice that will tell you that you deserve everything in the world, but the reality is that life may not give it to you all the time. It tells you that you deserve to be loved, you deserve to be seen, but not every single time you'll be seen, not every single time you'll be loved. In moments when you're not loved, in moments when you're not being seen, what can you do? Such advice that is very actionable is advice that you always have to look at when you're into this self-help improvement. Not advice tells you that you deserve to be loved, and if you're not loved, cut them off. If you deserve to be seen, and if you're not being seen, walk away from that environment. That kind of advice can become very toxic, can become very harsh, and can isolate you as an individual. So when you're diving into the world of self-help, or you're diving into the world of improving yourself, here is some advice that I would give you. Number 1, don't mistake knowledge for growth. Reading a self-help book only gives you the tools but does not do it for you. Knowledge is power, but when it's not applied, it is useless. How many intelligent people do we know, or do you know, that have not gone anywhere with their knowledge? And how many people that are less intelligent that have used the little knowledge that they have got and have become so much better, bigger, greater, and successful? Because you have to remember this. At some point, you have to stop reading and start doing. You have to be honest with yourself after you read that book, attend the seminar, listen to the podcast. Ask yourself a question. Did you apply 30% of what was said? Did you make any actionable plans? If you didn't do any of these things, then you're going to remain in the cycle of self-help. That is why one book is not enough for you. You need another and another and another and another, only to get you to the point that you feel like you have to get to. The reality is, whatever book you read, whatever seminar you attend, whatever podcast you attend, 30% of what you have listened to should be put down on paper and should act as an actionable plan. Reading a self-help book is like running on a treadmill. You get this illusion that you're moving forward and making progress, yet in reality you are not. When you get off the treadmill, you don't even know where to start. You feel dizzy, you feel nausea, you feel in a different kind of state, in this kind of state. Reading a self-help book over and over again does not give you the results that you want. Remember this. Self-help relies on a promise to fix you, to fix your problems, to fix your mental state. But ask yourself this question. If all this was true, why do so many people in the world still rely on mental health experts? Why do a lot of people still seek out therapists? So why do a lot of people still consume self-help books? Because one of the biggest industries is the self-help industry. Every position, every turn, everywhere you go, self-help is something that you see. The reason as to why this is a continuous thing is because the advice that we consume, that you consume, that I consume, is from one layman to another layman. This is why this information is easy for you to consume. This is why it's easy for you to turn on a YouTube video or a podcast to make yourself feel better. But that does not kill the problem. That does not take away the problem. That only gives you a solution, and it doesn't really help you. But when you seek someone who is professional, someone who has taken years of studies, someone who has taken time to understand you as a human being and understand your situation and is able to see you over and over again to fix your problem, is something that is worth looking at alongside self-help content. Because when it comes to self-help, or us self-help creators, we give you knowledge, we give you things that should be one size fits all. It's like saying that paracetamol works for all headaches. We all know that paracetamol does not work for every single headache. There are some headaches that require certain kind of painkillers. So with all that being said, self-help can be a great source of knowledge and personal growth, but it's important to be aware of the danger and the dark hole that this industry can put you in, and the kind of advice that you're consuming. We know over a period of time, the truth always comes out. We have so many creators that have been called out for the information that they have been giving based on the lifestyle that they have lived. Someone tells you how to be rich, how to get riches, how to be all that kind of thing, but they have grown up from a privileged family. They've grown up from a family where everything has been done from them. They tell you environmentally to do things, to do this, to do that. but they've got inheritance money, they've got a flat, they're living in a flat that was handed over to them, and they're showing this aesthetic life, this way of living, this sunrise, this all this, and all you're living is in a small tiny room, and you're thinking, what is wrong with my life? Why don't I aspire to be that? That is false information. The best self-help that you can do is the help that you do for your own self, and you actionable, take the steps. Self-help can be a great tool for your personal growth and your development. So if you're getting into the dark hole or in the environment of self-help, be aware of advice that is unsolicited. Be aware of advice that doesn't suit you. Remember at the back of your mind that not all size fits all. This is not to fix your problems, it's just to give you a solution. The moment you start seeking out for help, it means that that's a symptom to something that you have to look at. Look at therapists, look at professionals alongside consuming all this content to help you. Apart from that, my name is Lucy Akao. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope this video has inspired you and will get you starting and to look at things from a bigger picture. Until next time, bye bye.